Several years ago, I got introduced to a potential mentee. Imagine my shock when she sent me our work papers. I mean, confidential work that she had done for our organization, and she asked me to be the first reviewer before she sent it over to her boss. I was shocked. I immediately knew that mentorship relationship was headed for the rocks. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to ensure your mentor-mentee relationship is set up for success. So stay tuned. The first point here is to clarify the relationship from day one. What role am I playing here? Some mentees think that my mentor is someone to review my work. My mentor is an ATM. My mentor is a therapist. My mentor is a sponsor. You need to identify and clarify from day one what the mentorship relationship is all about, in case that's a first time mentorship relationship for your mentee. You need to ask what their why is. Why do you want to be mentored? Especially in a workplace relationship, it's important that you know the goal that they are trying to achieve with this mentorship relationship. That way, you are able to tailor your guidance to what's going to help them solve for their problems. You also want to clarify the frequency of your meetup, the duration of the relationship if it was not initially specified. Is it a 6 month relationship or is it a 3 month relationship? How often would we meet? Would we meet monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or as the case may be? How are we going to meet? How are we going to connect? Is it going to be a physical meetup or is it going to be a virtual meetup? Right? This depends on the context already created. Obviously, if it's a work relationship, if it's a work mentorship relationship and the person is in a different location, then it has to be virtual. It's important to clarify upfront so that there are no ambiguities and each party is clear about the role that they play in this relationship. Number two, empower, don't dictate. It's important for you to let your mentee know very early on that they are the driver's seat of their career and their own journey. Ask questions that help them think critically. I remember many years ago, I was in the middle of changing jobs and I went to my mentor to ask for guidance. I wanted to know what she thought about the next opportunity that I was looking forward to. And what she did to me shocked me. I thought she would just be like, oh, take this, take that. She sent me on an assignment and she said, go and write the pros and cons of working in your current organization and the next organization you are going into. Of course, in writing the pros and cons, I needed to speak to a lot of people. And that gave me insights that I would not have gotten had she not sent me on that errand. Eventually, when I came back, she told me, now that you've done your research, I'm going to tell you what I think about this, but it's up to you to make a decision about where you want to go next in your career. And she guided me and I made my decision. As a mentor, it's not in your place to make decisions on behalf of your mentee. It's in your place to guide them, to direct them to the answers that they're looking for. Don't encourage dependency. You don't want a situation where your mentee wants to do anything, they're coming to ask you first. That's not what we are trying to do here. And quite frankly, we don't even have the bandwidth for that. Build a safe and trusting environment. It's important to mention that confidentiality is a critical factor for any successful mentorship relationship. As a mentor, you need to create an environment where your mentee can come to you with their challenges, an environment that allows you to be open to them, to be vulnerable about your success and failures. as a mentor, the challenges that your mentee comes to discuss with you is not something to be discussed in the management meeting. It's not just for your friends. It's something that you should keep confidential. It's really important to mention this. And it's also important to highlight this to your mentee because you're going to be sharing of yourself. You're going to be sharing stories of your career journey that maybe nobody else knows. So your mentee also needs to know to keep that confidentiality clause between whatever it is that is discussed in the mentorship meetings. Focus on growth, not goals. Ensure that you create a balance between short-term wins and long-term development. You want to challenge their assumptions, you want to stretch them and encourage them to make bold moves. Also ensure that you celebrate progress, irrespective of how small they are. In my last mentorship relationship, it was workplace mentoring. My mentor, the goal was to expose me to a wider market beyond just my Middle Eastern Africa that I'm already familiar with. So my mentor asked me to go out and seek senior leaders, speak to them, meet them. You guys, it was a stretch. First of all, getting time on their calendar. Second of all, preparing for a meeting that is exciting and that's not boring, and that's a meeting where I can bring my true self, where I can bring my best self. It was such a daunting task, as small as it was. But one of the things that my mentor did well was, even when we decided we're going to speak to 5 people in for every month, in months where I spoke to 2 people, she celebrated the fact that I took a step. Like getting on those people's calendars, she knew that it was not a joke. It was a real big, it was a task. And she encouraged me every step of the way. Instead of saying, oh, you should have spoken to 5 people, she encouraged me. And even though it was a stretch assignment, I was able to reach out to leaders across the organization that I would not have had access to had she not challenged me to do so. Number 5, give practical value. Offer advice that is constructive and actionable. Share from your own stories. I believe that people learn more when they hear stories, real stories of things that you have gone through, your lessons, your strategies, your successes. Share those stories with them. Make connections where possible. Sometimes all you need to do as the mentor is just to send a 2-line email, and that opens the door for your mentee. Number 6, keep it two-way. A lot of mentors sometimes feel that the mentorship relationship can be one-sided. In one of my short videos, I highlighted a few things that as a mentor, you can learn from your mentee. For example, if you're mentoring someone in Gen Z, someone in a different generation, being their mentor exposes you to perspectives that you may not have had insights to, assuming you did not have a mentor in that generation. So take advantage of that. Learn from them as much as possible. Learn what they're doing and take that learning and apply to your own teams as well. Also, ask for feedback. Sometimes we don't want to hear that bad feedback, and I know how it feels when you get a bad feedback. I genuinely know. But do you really want to wait till after 6 months to find out from your mentee that everything you guys have been doing and talking about was not adding any value to them? So you want to ask for feedback regularly. How is it going? Do you think we're making progress? Are these discussions adding value to your career? What are you learning? You want to ask for feedback regularly so that you know what to tweak, you know what to change, you know how to change your approach in a way that benefits both you and them. And stay curious. You ensure that you are asking the right questions and you are maximizing whatever value you can get from that mentorship relationship. Some of the skills that I highlighted that mentorship helps you to develop is, number 1, speaking skills. You refine the way you coach. You even learn coaching skills. You are able to refine the way you coach people. You are able to present yourself better, learning how to answer questions on the spot, because in the process of question and answer with your mentee, some questions may come up that you haven't prepared for, and you have to be able to give an immediate answer, or at least give an encouragement. You learn empathy. I have been a mentee rather, that cried in a mentorship meeting. Yes, I've been a mentor to people who also were frustrated, they were flustered, and I had to learn how to empathize with them and how to console them and how to make them feel better. Those are some of the skills that you learn by mentoring younger people. Finally, plan for transitions. Let me tell you guys, one of the most awkward part of mentorship relationships, when nobody is willing to put an end. So we've talked about what we've come to the end of the goal we're trying to achieve, but the mentee does not want to, because we didn't agree up front how much time or the duration of the mentorship relationship. The mentee does not want to say, oh, thank you, I'm done. The mentor also does not know if the mentee is actually done, and so we keep stringing each other along, and it becomes a ghosting situation. You want to ensure that when you feel that you have delivered the value that your mentee reached out to you for, be the bigger person and end the relationship. I will typically send out an email and just say thank you and ask if there's anything else they want me to do for them, and we all keep it moving. It's better that way. It preserves the relationship that way. Agree on review points. What are the success factors? What are the key success factors that we'll be looking out for as evidence that the goal here has been achieved? Once those success factors are achieved, then go ahead to close the relationship. Evolve your relationship. I mentioned in one of my short videos, in my last video actually, I mentioned in my last video that a lot of people who started out being my mentor have now transitioned into big sis, big bro. They have now transitioned into egbons. Egbon means brother and sister in my local language, Yoruba language. They've transitioned into big sis. They've transitioned into allies. I also do this for my mentees as well. I try to check in every now and then to be sure that they are okay, and just to keep that line of communication opened, so that in case they need to reach out, they know that I am always there for them and I will always be there to answer their questions. Remember that as a mentor, your job is to guide, stretch, and support. Is there anything you think I might have missed? Or is there any success factor that has worked for you in your own mentorship relationships? Please drop a comment in the comment section. As usual, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more. And I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.